We all said, everybody all said, just a few things. Will and Britt, first, Will, I'd like to formally welcome you and your family and your friends to the Morello family. A father has one hope, that his daughter could find a man of her dreams and live happily ever after. I'm not an easy person to impress, but I have no doubt you'll make Brittany very happy. A verse from Psalm 118, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad." On behalf of the Morello family and friends who aren't here, congratulations to both of you. From those of us, relatives who have passed away, may they watch over you and keep you safe all the days of your lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you.
Love you. That was so good, Dad. That was very good. He's like, get this on me. I found that every time I started to write, I got choked up. And then Brittany said to me, "Mom, did you write a poem?" So I did. Of course, I put this together kind of quickly, so bear with me. And it's themed around theater and music, so. From your cute button nose to your fingers and toes, a handful of curls adorned with ribbons and bows. Those first little steps you took with such pride. It was hard to let go and then step aside. In a tribute to Disney, you played a mouse. It opened the door to musical theater in our house. In The Wizard of Oz, you were our shining star. You made us so proud, a special moment by far. In high school, you continued to shine on the stage. We soon recognized this was not just a phase. Soon you packed up your things and headed off to college. A new adventure ahead and a world full of knowledge. Daddy, Courtney, Lindsay, and I missed you the moment we all said goodbye. Then it was off to New York in pursuit of your dreams. You made it all work despite of limited means. Additional roles you would soon come to know. As a nanny to many, you continue to grow. Then enter the scene was Mr. Tall, Handsome, and Ginger. I knew in an instant your voice started to linger as you mentioned his name and you said your goals were the same. Your heart was so full and your life had now changed. As you take on this role of being Will's wife, we want you to both have the best in this life. The lessons you've learned and family dynamics is strength that you both bring, so ignore the dramatics. Embrace all of the challenges that will come your way as you accept these new roles you are about to play. Shaped by the people who surround you today, may you grow deeper in love with each passing day.
Love you, Mama. Thank you, Heather.
Well, unlike what I imagine most folks will stand or sit here and say this afternoon, I'd like to take a few moments to offer a little advice and to perhaps point out a couple of life events that you guys, along with the rest of us here at this table, will encounter at one point or another. Hey, it need not be a dark thing, but rather a very bright and beautiful experience. Of course, a lot of that will simply depend on how the two of you choose to maneuver once you encounter the matters of time. That being said, I'd like to begin with a small quip from a guy named Victor Hugo.
Oh, I know him.
Some of you might be familiar with at least one of his works. Well, someone once asked old Vic about the meaning of life, to which he replied, "Life is a theater set in which there are but few entrances." And I thought about that for a bit, and I tried to quantify his reply in my mind. Try as I might, I simply could not arrive at a point where I felt comfortable with my answers. Thankfully, there was a playwright that came along 200 years earlier than Vic who summed it up best. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their entrances and their exits, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. First the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining face creeping like snail, unwilling to school. And then the lover sighing like a furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oath and bearded like pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice in fair round belly and good cape and lined, with eyes severe and a beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, so he plays his part. The 6th stage shifts to lean and slippered pantalon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on his side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his manly voice turning again to childish treble pipes. That which ends this strange eventful history is second childness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Well, there you have it, the circle of life. I suppose my advice to you would be to accept it, to honor it, to live it. Live every day of your life to its fullest and enjoy it to the max. The beauty of it is you do not have to go through life alone. Found within the pages of the New Testament in the book of Matthew, you will find the words, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united in one." Will, my son, that time has come for you. In closing, I just want to say right now, the two of you represent the leading man and the leading lady in the single most important role of your lives. And as the curtain begins to rise, my hope and prayer is that at the end of each act, you will always be appreciative and forever grateful with the role that God has granted the two of you. Now go with Godspeed and know you are deeply loved by all of us here today, as well as those who could not be with us and have you in their thoughts at this very moment. My son and my daughter, Brittany.
But I do want to thank the Morellos. It's so much fun to feel like we are one big family. And you have certainly raised 3 beautiful daughters, and I'm glad my son chose one. I just have a little story to tell, and it actually happened, so I hope I get through this. There was a time, once upon a time, you know, Will has looked for you long and hard. And, you know, he's kind of tried to find out if you were other people, and you weren't. You just weren't here yet. And there was a time when I was, you know, your mom and your dad do always want you to find the partner of your dreams. And I was in the backyard just sort of praying and meditating about that particular thing. And I looked up, and on a house that is behind the fence, there were 2 little birds who hopped together, you know, and they looked like they were kind of chatting with each other. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And then that little bird flew away. And I thought, oh, well, that's a little sad for me. And then as I continued to look, all of a sudden, a little bird hopped from behind the bird that was in front. And I thought, oh, there are 2 little birds, and they were so close together, you couldn't even tell one from the other. And I knew then that someday you would come along, and I wondered who the little bird was. And it was you. So, thanks for flying in.
My little bird.
I honestly think that all of us, when we saw you whatever our first time was, including Nima, who could not be with us this time, really thought, this is definitely the one. You can just tell, look at the way she looks at him, look at the way he looks at her. And I think you all knew really quickly too that you were the little bird to hop into our lives. And so, thank you. We love you.
Thank you.
Glad you all are together.
So, I decided to start with a couple of stories.
Oh boy.
Growing up, I idolized Will and wanted to be his best friend and do everything he did. He, of course, took full advantage of my admiration and never lost an opportunity to get a laugh or earn a buck.
That's true.
While trying to teach me how to turn flips underwater at Beaver Lake, he assured me the proper technique required one to breathe in through their nose.
That's an awesome big brother.
So even though it didn't sound right, I believed him because I believed everything he told me. And ended up with a head full of water and nearly drowning myself.
Wow. A little dramatic.
Being a preteen in the early 90s meant wearing clothes 5 times larger than you actually needed. Seriously, the baggier the better. And lucky for me, I had a big brother whose clothes I decided would undoubtedly look stunning on me. So after routinely rejecting my request to borrow his clothes, Will finally relented when he realized this could be a profitable opportunity for himself, and he began charging me 50 cents an item.
I don't even really remember that, but that was good. I'm
Seminole
impressed.
sweatshirt all the time. Which I happily paid until baby doll tees came into fashion and I had to start saving my money to buy those instead. Moving on into high school, you'll find my blind idolization had subsided a bit, but I still thought Will was cool and I definitely still wanted to be his friend. However, Will did not want to be my friend. At least not publicly. That is, until he realized I had cute friends, and maybe it wasn't the worst thing in the world to hang out once in a while. So this is kind of when I'd say Will started to think of me as somewhat of a friend. College and grad school came and went. I'd hang out and float down rivers in Cincinnati, and he'd party with me in Nashville. And then we both moved to our big cities and started trying to survive on our own, which we discovered wasn't always easy, and having to start paying for everything in life by yourself is really expensive.
Especially the 2 most expensive cities in the world.
Will and I had countless phone calls where it might have seemed like we were having a who has it worse competition. But in reality, our pitiful stories made us both laugh until we cried and helped me to know I wasn't the only one struggling to make it in this world. Because I had my brother, who would always come through with a situation worse than mine. As we continued through life, things got easier, and our phone calls got less depressing. One phone call in particular stands out for me. It was February 2016, and I was annoyed at work and decided I'd call Will to vent it out. Not too long into the conversation, he casually mentioned that he'd gone out a couple times with a girl that he thought he really liked. I remember him telling me 2 things about this girl. He really liked her because, sorry, I lost my place. Because being with her was easy and natural. And I would really like her because she liked to party as much as I do. I got to meet Brittany in July of that year during a visit to see Will. She'd come into town to surprise Will at his show. And when I walked in his dressing room, I immediately knew why he loved Brittany. She's this beautiful, happy ball of energy that lights up a room. And seeing Will with her was honestly the happiest I'd ever seen him in my life. After Brittany went back to Boston, Will and I were having lunch, and he asked me, "How soon is too soon to get married?" I don't remember what my response was, but I do remember coming home from that trip and being so incredibly happy because I knew Will had found his person. And even though life will undoubtedly throw in some twists and turns, It all works out when you're with the person you were meant to be with. I am so happy to share this week and this day with the two of you in this amazingly beautiful place. I'd like to raise a glass. Brittany, thank you for being Will's person. Will, thank you for being my brother and being my friend through life.
Cheers.
Thank you, Lori. It was so great. I love you.
Love you.
That's it. No more.
Firstly, our friend Jackie, who was invited to the wedding with her husband Mike and couldn't make it. So she sent me something to read, so I'm going to start there. Cat. I haven't read this yet, so forgive me because I'm not good at cat. To Will, from the little sister you never asked for. For every burst of laughter, for every protective gesture, for every dream I've watched you make come true, I am so proud and so joyful for this moment in your life most of all. To know you have found your heart's partner in someone so strong, so full of grace and kindness, with just as much gleeful laughter as incredible beauty. I am filled with happiness and inspiration, for your love radiates upon all who surround you. May today be just the beginning. May today be the day you love each other. May today be the day you love each other the least. May you look back one day on a life adventurously led, fiercely cherished, mountains conquered, dreams chased, and see a love deeply colorful and comfortably worn in. From the Velveteen Rabbit, it doesn't happen all at once, said the Skin Horse. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off and your eyes drop out and you get loose in your joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. Once you are real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts always. From this day until forever, may it last for you always. I love you both, Jackie. Got it? It's beautiful. Okay, so that's a tough act to follow. I didn't prepare anything. At this point in my life, I'm seriously like experiencing things everything is happening at the last minute in my life. So here I am about to toast you guys, and
You're in the moment.
in the moment. I met Will a long time ago. It was 1999, and I went to see Will in a production of help me out here, Godspell, and we were at a theater festival in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Will was there performing on the main stage, and I was there with my high school, and we were watching this guy perform. And I looked in the program, and it said he'll be attending Cincinnati in the fall. So, of course, like afterwards, I wanted to meet this guy and say hi. So I did. And if Will would tell this story, he would say that when I approached him, he thought I was one of his professors because I look slightly older than average, but
Sweet beer for 18. I'm just saying.
yeah, I did have a beer. So Will and I met in 1999, and the next time we saw each other was at orientation, and we sort of sat through the spiels and the speeches, and we kind of looked around at the people that we would be soon attending school with, and it was kind of like, yo, should we room together? We should probably. You're cool. I'm cool. Well, let's do this, okay? So that was it, and we started living together and went through so many things together and experienced a lot together, most of which you could either be arrested for, we'll put you in the hospital, things that you just shouldn't do in life, we did together.
Cut those out of the way.
But it's formed an incredible bond, and I actually have a brother, a blood brother, but I think, Will, you are probably closer to me than anyone in the world, and that is so important to me because we just moved from New York to Michigan, and it's incredible. It's like, I knew that the biggest thing that would have an effect on us was us missing our friends, but Jesus Christ, like I'm surrounded by my family and I still miss my friends so much. All of you guys. We're Garen at. What up, dog? And it's just, you don't even realize it until you realize it, that you're my family, you're my brother, and I love you very much. Sorry. And I'm so very happy to have Brittany in our lives now, and she's part of our family. And I met Brittany, and I know, it was before he probably said that he knew, but I knew, we all knew. It was like, this is it. I've seen Will go through some relationships over the very long time that we've been friends, but this one was different. And I want to raise a glass and cheers to best friends,
Best friends, Lee.
to old friends, and to new friends. I love you guys. Congratulations.
Love you, Lee. Thank you, son.
Cheers, guys.
To my sister, since the day that my mother brought me into this world, you have been my role model. Every step of the way. You've been my longest best friend. And you have been the person that I've always looked up to guide me in the right direction.
Even when I was mean.
Even when you're like, pain is beauty, and you're like, just deal with the pain and just let me curl your hair.
Do this.
Such is life. But you've always been right. And I just hope that I can find somebody that I can communicate with and love, because in my heart, I'm like, you've touched all of us with your love. Like, we've all experienced that, especially during this trip this week. We've all seen it. And my heart is so full of love for you too. Even though I lean into Lindsay. You were my first best friend.
Okay, I was first, Lynn.
I've known her longest. So it comes with the territory. But I love you guys so much. And you've touched me. And I am so blessed to be here and part of this experience this week. I love you guys so much.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Philip.
So as most of you know and have noticed, I call Brittany Morello. I've known Morello for a long time. About 12 years. We go all the way back to Holy Name High School.
Senior Central Catholic High School.
Holy Name Senior Central Catholic High School. Let me tell you all about the first time we met. She has a very different story than I, but mine is the truth. Okay, so it goes back to French 1. First week in a new school, which means I was trying to be nice and approachable, which means smiling a lot, which to this day is still hard for me. I sat next to this girl in French class who had long curled hair and was already conjugating basic verbs and was reading her textbook and taking notes in a big binder. My first thought was, this is not going to work. We're not going to be friends. But we chatted a little bit and kind of got along. After that week in French, I was moved up to French 2.
That is true.
Then I saw the same girl. Then I saw the same girl walking down the hall, and I was like, maybe I could be friends with her. I don't have any other friends here. We made a little connection, like whatever. So as she's walking by me, I say, "Hey, Brittany." She breezes by like no one else is in the hall, and I was like, "That girl, you've got to be kidding me."
I don't remember her saying that to me.
Well,
I
okay.
must have been thinking very hard.
Anyways, so through some jokes about dumpsters, prom photos, visits to Via, shopping, constant phone calls, and Stella getting her groove back, she forced her friendship on me. And a few years later, I broke, and we became friends. She latched on and didn't let go through being in Boston, even after we moved away. And I'm so glad it happened. Friend.
I know.
You're the first one I call.
Are you laughing?
I laugh crying.
Okay.
First one I call, and the one I'm always excited to talk to. You're the only one I'm willing to cry with in a darkened room over a bowl of pasta.
Except for our new friends.
Sun's setting and pasta's on the way, so.
I'm about to get more pasta.
Okay, I'm so happy I can be the fourth Morello sister. While annoying and bossy, she's also kind, passionate.
I thought we were talking about you.
While annoying and bossy, Morello is also kind, passionate, empathic, and will always have your back. I know she is committed and ruthless for those that she loves. So Will, you're a very lucky guy.
This is true.
Even though I've only met Will a few times, he's always gracious, caring, and willing to answer any deep and personal questions that I'm going to ask him. Will, it's been said before, but welcome to the family.
Thank you, Jen.
I love you both, and I can't wait to see your journey together. And Will, if you ever need any dirt, I have all of it, and I have photographic evidence.
I can't wait. Yeah, Dad.
I love you, Fred. I love you, Fred.
That was great.
Thank you for all of your research and all of this. From the Facebook to the text messaging, all of the help that you have given all of us is brilliant, and thank God, because I wouldn't have done it. But from the minute that we arrived at this beautiful, magical place that we called home for the last 6 days or so, just like the lava from Mount Vesuvius, my heart has been bursting, overflowing with more love and gratitude and just extreme happiness, more than I've ever felt. It's amazing. You guys are great. Great, you're great. Because of the two of you and this whole amazing, my mind is at ease. So I think my soul has found its purpose.
Kevin's not going back.
And I'm not going back. And I'm staying here. I shipped all my stuff to that little room.
Hope you have a double bed.
No, it's a smaller than a full. It's great. It's great. And like Jackie is, I'm inspired. My inspiration is renewed. It's once again, it's great. It's great. I love you guys. I love everyone now. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my.
Oh my God, what's not to love? No, new friends and the family. Oh my God, it's great. But as you can see, this view, this better than average view that we have, better than average. As you can see, there's a lot of beauty in the world, and I've seen some of it. But you know, this is great. But for one day, nope, for 1 week, I had this one. Damn it. No, for 1 week, among your adoring family and your flock of friends, love has one word, just one word. That's amore. Cheers. Love you guys. You're great. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you. Cheers. Hashtag that's amore.
So I've started a new tradition.
Okay.
So every night for the past few years, I've asked myself, what was your favorite part of the day? Of course, there are big things like weddings and career accomplishments that we obviously all celebrate. But recently I've been pinpointing small specific moments as a way to reflect after each day. Last night at the rehearsal dinner, I caught a look on Will's face while he was listening to Brittany talk to his mom. And Will is stuffing his face, and that was great. That was a perfect moment for me to say that. His face was full of so much boyish love, joy, respect, and excitement. And Britt, that was my favorite moment of my day and our friendship. Because I've been waiting 12 years to see somebody look at you like that. So, I would like to propose a toast. May Will continue to look at Brittany like that. And may Britt notice when he does.
I will. I do.
Thank you, Ty.
Of course.
Brittany, you are the most loving, thoughtful, and generous friend that I have. And I'm very grateful for you. Will Ray, you are so silly. And you've probably all noticed, I mean, I told them that I've been doing it, but I've been staring at you guys like creeps all week long. I sit there like this. I thought everybody else was doing it. But honestly, I think it's just, I am so, your joy and your love is so infectious. And I've been taking so many quiet moments for myself, just to kind of give myself a moment to take it in, handle it, embrace it. I feel so grateful to be here. I love you very much. And I'd also like to share a little how you doing with you all. Just a simple story. About 6 months before they started dating, Brittany and I were sharing a dressing room together doing a show, and Will Ray's name came up in conversation, and she shook her head and she said, "The one that got away." So I would like to propose a toast to the one that most certainly did not get away. Please take this off of me. I hate it.
And I started off with this wild idea.
Which came very quickly after becoming engaged. We were engaged on a Sunday evening, and the following Sunday we were pitching this idea to my parents, and the next day to Rhonda and Steve.
We promised each other, like, we're not talking about wedding venues, anything, for at least a month. Like 3 days later, we were like, so I don't know. I was thinking like maybe.
Maybe we'll just
yeah. So, but
Google quickly.
After those 3 days, we kind of like came to this idea: what if?
Which was never in either of our daydreams of what a wedding would look like.
Yeah.
I first of all never daydreamed about weddings as a girl, and I didn't put any of them in Italy.
No.
And then very quickly and organically, somehow this seemed like an obvious answer, and somehow it was realized with a lot of effort and support.
But more than anything, support. Every time we brought it up to any of you, Leo, you were our test, and
Yeah, we
you
met with
crossed that test.
outrageous.
And we're like, dude, we will be there?
Yeah.
When do we drop the kids off? See you there. I was like, whoa. Maybe this is something we should do.
Right. The enthusiasm was so
Unanimous.
authentic and unanimous. And I know it wasn't
Across
easy.
the board.
I know what we asked was a lot.
To take a week of your lives away.
was because of you guys and because of how much we love you.
And we so appreciate you putting your faith in us and this adventure and saying yes to traveling and trying new things and meeting our people. There aren't probably, there won't be probably many moments in my life and in our lives where we can say that we have everything that we want. And right now, I have all of the things that I want. I have all of my people. We have full bellies. We are healthy. We have smiles on our faces. I have the man of my dreams. My hair and makeup came out okay. It's not raining. The weather is perfect. I mean, today and in this moment, I have everything and everyone that I want. And you are all so, so very special to us. And I want you to know that we don't take for granted for an instant what it cost and sacrifice and time and energy and expense for you to share this with us. And every moment is paramount. Thank you.
A special shout out to the 4 people right here. I know this put you all out of your comfort zones. And
thank you. Thank you for trusting us.
You did it without maybe begrudgingly at first.
No.
But I've seen the smiles.
Look at that face. Look at that face.
No. But no, it was a lot for us to ask, but it was so important for what we're building on, for the 4 of you to be here and spend this time together so that you know when I'm with Britt's family or when
what that
she's
looks like,
with
and vice versa.
our family, you genuinely know. It's not a 6-hour thing that was brushed over and done. Yeah. You were here for 5 days, and
our family is spread over
in
many states and many cities, but together at this table, we are together, and we love you all, and you have shaped us. We chose each other, but you informed our decisions in the ways that you've impacted our lives. We love you so much. And we would like to propose a toast to Mia Familia.
Mia Familia, you are all our family. Thank you.
We love you so much. Thank you.
I love you.
Love you.
Bless them in their work and in their companionship, in their sleeping and in their waking, in their joys and in their sorrows, in their life and in their death. Finally, in your mercy, bring them to that table where your saints feast forever in your heavenly home. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, who with you and the Holy Spirit lives and reigns, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Grazie, Roberto.
Hey, how about that? Cheers.